Welcome to MongoDB AppiWorks for Zoho CRM. MongoDB AppiWorks for Zoho CRM is a Zoho CRM extension that integrates Zoho CRM and MongoDB database to automate your workflow like export data, import data, and view data directly from Zoho CRM. Before proceeding with the automation types, let us quickly install our extension from Zoho Marketplace. If you have already installed, you can skip this part of the video. Go to Zoho Marketplace and search for MongoDB AppiWorks in the search bar as shown here. You will be navigated to the extension page and now proceed to install. Accept all permission to proceed the installation procedure as shown here. Click on Confirm and wait for the extension to be installed. Once the installation is completed, now we can go to the MongoDB AppiWorks tab by clicking on the three dots present as shown here. Click on Start Automating button. It will redirect you to the Zoho CRM connection setup page. Provide a name for your Zoho connection and click on Authorize with Zoho CRM button. Choose your organization and after that click on Accept button to create a connection with Zoho CRM. As you can see that the connection is created successfully. In order to create a new service, click on the Create New Service button. Give a name to your automation service and choose your automation type. By default, the automation service is selected to export. So let's see how export automation service work. Click on Next button and proceed to configure Zoho CRM. Choose a Zoho CRM module and click on Next button to configure MongoDB. You can either choose from an existing connection or you can create a new one by clicking on the plus icon present at the right end of the connection field. Please enter the required credentials and click on Connect button to establish the new connection. Once the connection is successfully established, choose an object or a collection from MongoDB database. Also select Create as our action in the Action Selection field and then click on Next button to proceed to Mapping section. While few fields can be intelligently mapped, the remaining fields can be mapped manually by clicking on the Add button as is shown here. Here we have mapped first name with first name, last name with last name, email with email, phone with phone and company name with company. Once the fields are mapped successfully, let us now move on to the next step by clicking on the Next button. In the final step, you can enable or disable the service configuration based upon your need. The first switch is enabled for automatic export of leads upon creation or updation of any existing lead in Zoho CRM module, and the second switch is for manual export of selected leads. We will see more about manual export in later part of the video. Finally, let's save the service. Once the service is saved successfully, let us now take a look at our leads collection in MongoDB database, and as we can see there are 3 available leads. Now let's go back to Zoho CRM and try creating a new lead. Once the required details are entered, click on Save button to create the lead. Let's go back to our MongoDB collection to check whether the newly created lead is exported there. After refreshing the list here, we can see the newly created lead is exported successfully. Let us now see how we can manually export specific leads from Zoho CRM module. Let's go back to our list of leads in Zoho CRM Leads module. Now select the leads to be exported and click on the MongoDB AppiWorks button as shown. Once the AppiWorks configuration is loaded, you can execute the required service from the available list of services. On successful execution of the service, let's go back to our MongoDB leads collection and check whether the selected leads are exported there. After refreshing the list, here we can see the selected leads from Zoho CRM leads module have been exported successfully. Now let's navigate back to service listing page and have a look at one more type of automation service called import. Click on Create button to initiate a new service. Give a name to your automation service and this time choose import as your automation type. Click on Next and move to Configure Zoho CRM and do the same way as we have already done earlier. In order to configure MongoDB connection, we will choose the previously created connection this time. We will choose lead as our object and proceed to mapping. In Mapping section, we will map the related fields as we have done earlier during export service creation, and once the mapping is complete, we will move to Setup Data Filter. In this step, we need to set up the data filter. Here you can preview the data and choose only the records which is to be imported. Click on plus button in order to add filters as shown here. Filters are optional. In case no filter is set, it is supposed to fetch all data from the data source. Once the filter is applied, click on Preview Filtered Data button to fetch the records. Here you can see that the filtered data from database has been displayed. There are two types of import options available. Through Quick Import, we can instantly import the records, and we can also schedule our import based upon interval or some specific time. By default, few of the records are selected. We can select the records based upon our need. Let's perform quick import at first. Click on Import Now button. On running the import service successfully, let's click on Next and finally save the service. Now, let us check whether the selected leads are reflecting in our Zoho CRM leads list. On refreshing the list, we can see the newly imported leads here. Let us now check out how scheduled import works. Click on Create button and let's go back to our service configuration page and schedule an import. Give a name to your automation type. Choose Import as the automation type and click on Next. Configure the Zoho CRM the same way as we have already done earlier. We are using the previously created MongoDB connection and keeping lead as our object. Click on Next button and move to Mapping section. In Mapping section, we will map the related fields as we have done earlier. Now click on Next button and let's set up the data filter. Once the filter is applied, click on Preview Filtered Data button to fetch the records. As we can see, only the records with lead status, contacted, has been fetched. Now let's schedule our import. Imports can be scheduled after a regular interval as well. This time, we are going to schedule the import at a specific time for our demonstration. Now let's enter the date and time of import. Now click on Next and finally save the service. On reaching the specific time, let's check whether the leads have been imported to Zoho CRM leads list. After refreshing the list, here we can see that the leads that were scheduled to be imported is successfully listed here in Zoho CRM leads module. Finally, let us look at one more automation service called View. We are in the service listing page. Click on Create button to create new View service. Give a name to your automation service and this time choose View as your automation type. Click on Next and move to Configure Zoho CRM, and do the same way as we have already done earlier. In order to configure MongoDB connection, we will choose the previously created connection and we will choose Inquiries as our object, and proceed to set up Connecting Filter. Connecting Filter will act as a link between MongoDB collection data and Zoho CRM Leads module. The fields should be unique and should be matched. Here, email from Zoho CRM Leads module has been matched to email field in Inquiries collection in MongoDB. Now click on Next and in the final step save the service. Once the service is saved successfully, let's now navigate to a lead details page to see how it works. Click on any lead and scroll to the bottom of the page. Here you can see that we have a widget from MongoDB AppiWorks. After loading, you can see your view services. Click on Service to visualize the data. As you can see, it fetched all data from MongoDB Inquiries collection related to this particular lead in Zoho CRM Leads module. So these are all kinds of automation service that we offer from MongoDB AppiWorks extension for Zoho CRM. Hope you enjoyed the intelligent integration and hyper-automation capability of AppiWorks on Zoho CRM. Thanks for watching.